Hey guys, Dubby here. Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk about Dub Techno Chords. Now I want to start out by saying I don't proclaim to make Dub Techno, but I am a big fan of the sound, and I like to incorporate some of the aspects of this genre into my music, specifically the chords. I really love the big kind of textural sound and the evolving nature of these chords. They really add a kind of dynamic and emotive aspect to a track. So that's what we're going to look at today. Big, washy, evolving kind of Dub Techno chords. As always, there's a link in the description to download the project files for this, so you can grab that, jump in, see how everything was made. Anyway, let's jump into Ableton and get things going. Alright, so here we are inside Ableton, and this is a little project I've put together to demonstrate these Dub Techno chords. So first I need to say that I'm not an expert in Dub Techno. I've never made a Dub Techno track, but I am influenced by the genre, and I really do like these type of chords. I implement things like this into my productions, which are more in the kind of deep or minimal house kind of style. And I think that's a really important point to make. Just because you make tech house or minimal house or whatever, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't try to take influences from other genres and incorporate them into your tracks. This is a great way to create like a signature sound and something that's unique to yourself and something that can help you to kind of stand out within your genre. So let's have a quick listen at what I've put together here. Alright, so Dub Techno or not, it's like a moody little groove and I quite like it. Don't forget you can download the project files from the description of this video, so get in there and have a look and see how all this is made. You can also grab the presets and samples from within the project. So these chords are what we're going to be focusing on, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through how this is made up. Let me just turn off the processing so that we can listen to the raw sound. So this is the chords without any processing. Now you'll see this chord device here. That's really important to creating the sound. What this is essentially doing, it might be easier if I show you in a MIDI file. So it's taking this F2 note and it's duplicating the F. It's also creating a minor triad. So it creates that chord plus the F down, and then it creates another minor triad on top. So every time that F note plays, this is what is actually being sent to the synthesizer. And that's what's creating a lot of the depth and character of the sound. Now, if we hear it without the chord device, just playing the F note, so you can see that's really important to building the sound. Okay, so let's have a look at the synthesizer and see what's happening here. So basically I've got one oscillator, which is this here, which is using a saw wave wavetable, and then I've got another oscillator which is just noise. So we'll have a listen to the noise. I'll turn off the filter. So that does have quite a strange sound to it, and that's because it's being triggered with 7 notes because of this chord device. Okay, then we've got this saw wave wavetable. And both of them together. So that sound is being influenced by this amp envelope, which has a short decay, a kind of medium sustain and a short release. So you can hear that that's already having like a bit of a plucky sound. So to shape that sound further, I'm using these LFOs to move the position in the wavetable. You can see this yellow line moving up and down each time the note plays. Now these LFOs have retrigger turned off. That means that they're going to be constantly moving, which is going to allow these sounds to constantly evolve. This stops them from sounding stagnant. Each time the chord plays, they're going to sound different, and this allows them to maintain interest over a longer period of time. Once I turn on all the effects, you're going to see that this sound is amplified, and each chord is going to sound vastly different from the last. So let's have a look at the filter section. I've got a 24 dB filter with a bit of drive and a bit of resonance. This is being influenced by envelope 2, this one here, and envelope 2 is again a plucky short decay, short release, and even less sustain. So that's adding to the plucky nature of this sound. One thing that's really important to note is that the synth is set to polyphonic mode, and I've got 8 voices here. This is really important because we're using the chord device. If this is set to mono, then we can't get that chord sound. Alright, so I've got a bit more processing going on here, and this is just some basic stuff. We've got the EQ here, cutting off the low end. So there's a lot of sub-information which is totally unneeded, and that's just going to mess with the kick and the bass. I've got this overdrive, which is just adding a bit of grit and texture to the sound. Doesn't sound great right now, but with the echo and the reverb, it just helps to kind of bring a different character and a grittiness to the sound. So I've got this glue compressor, which is just controlling the dynamics. Because of the random variables that are happening from the LFO in the synthesis, each chord can be quite different in volume. So this is just helping to maintain a more consistent volume as the chords play. Now I've got some chorus. Just to add a little bit of width. Now, this is where the fun starts, is with the echo. Now this is what's giving it the dub character. So I've got this set to dotted eighth notes with a pretty moderate amount of feedback. So I've got a filter happening here, which is cutting off the lows and a bit of the highs, and I've got a moderate amount of feedback, and it's set to dotted eighth notes with a ping pong. And the dry wet is set to 37%. Now there's also a little bit of reverb happening after the delay. Then I've got my standard LFO tool, which is just ducking it to the kick, and then we have this reverb, which is just the default Ableton setting, and I've just cut out a bit of low, changed it to high quality mode, increased the decay time, so it's quite long to 9.8, and pumped up the dry wet, so it's about 39%. So we'll have a listen to that with the reverb on. So now it's starting to sound a lot more lush and expansive. So as you can see, along this arrangement, it doesn't really change much. It's playing the same chords the whole way through. Because the synthesis is being automated by the LFOs, each hit sounds different. And this difference is being exaggerated by the echo and the reverb. So it sounds like it's evolving over time. Now we can actually also influence this using some automation, which I've programmed at the start here. So I'm automating the feedback, the dry wet, and the delay time. Let's just take the delay time out of the equation for now and listen to the feedback and the dry wet being automated. So you can hear that's going to be a great tool to use in the arrangement and allow us to create tension and release for build-ups throughout the track. Now by incorporating this delay time, you can make something that sounds like really unique. I've got this echo set to repitch mode, so as the delay time changes, it's going to pitch the sound up or down, and that's going to be applied to the feedback. So let's take a listen to how that sounds. So that creates a much more unique and interesting texture across the sound over time. And this can also be manipulated to create even more tension and release within the track. Alright, there you go guys, hope you enjoyed that. I had a lot of fun doing this one. I really like this sound and it's something that I really like to work with in my tracks. And I'm sure that you can find unique and interesting ways to incorporate these kind of chords into your tracks. Let me know in the comments, what's your favourite dub techno track? So if you like these kind of sound design videos, then check out this one I did about emotive pads and strings for tension and release.